Let's look at this question. 4 companies, namely A, B, C, D, recruited management students across 4 streams, namely marketing, finance, operations, and human resources from a well-known B school in Ahmedabad. Each company recruited at least 1 student from each of the 4 streams. Okay, so we have 4 companies, A, B, C, and D, and they've recruited people in marketing, finance, operations, and HR. These are the domains they have hired people in. First, now instruction start. The number of students recruited by company A were equal from exactly 2 streams and were 2 distinct numbers for other 2 streams. So can I say representation wise, for A, what we have is A, B, and C. B, C are the 2 distinct numbers, A are the 2 repeated numbers. Okay. The same is true for companies B and D as well. So we have A, B, C here also, and A, B, C here also. Now don't misinterpret this as what I am saying here is the number of employees hired by A and the number of employees hired by B and the number of employees hired by D are identical, or this A is not a variable. This A is not a variable. This is more like a rhyming pattern wala A. 2 are going to be same, 2 are going to be distinct. 2 are going to be same, 2 are going to be distinct. That idea has been transferred via this AABC. Nothing more. The fact that these could be taken as variables, and what I'm trying to say is that these are identical. I am not making that assertion. Okay. The number of students recruited by C from all the streams were distinct, which means you have A, B, C, and D. All 4 numbers are distinct. Okay. This column here, as and when we fill it up, this column here is going to be having all distinct numbers. The number of students recruited from operations stream by each of the companies was a distinct integer. Okay, so this row here will also be all distinct numbers. All distinct numbers. The operations row and C column are going to have distinct numbers. Okay. Additionally, the following facts were observed. The number of students recruited by company A was 8. So A recruited 8 people, which was also the number of students recruited from finance by all these companies taken together. So not only did A recruit 8 people, finance also had 8 people in total recruited in it. Okay. Half of the total students recruited by company A were from one of the streams, which is to say, out of these 4 numbers, one of the numbers is 4. Now we also had this instruction. Every company recruited at least 1 student from each of the 4 streams. So the only way you can have 2 identical numbers and 2 distinct numbers adding up to 8, if one of those numbers is 4, is if you have 1, 1, and 2. There cannot be any other case. There cannot be any other case. So the number of people hired by company A, how they get distributed, we don't know. But the number of people hired by A are going to be 1, 1, 2, 4. Okay. Next instruction. The number of students recruited by company B was 8. Okay. Which was also the number of students recruited by human resources by all the companies taken together. So HR also had 8 people recruited in total. The sum of the number of students recruited by company B from 2 streams was equal to the number of students recruited by the remaining 2 streams. Okay. So now see, what they are saying is, out of the 4 counts of people who have been recruited into the 4 areas, these 2 add up to the same number, these 2 add up to the same number. All of them together add up to 8. So each of these groups has to add up to 4. Each of these groups has to add up to 4. So if sets of 2 numbers have to add up to 4, can I say the split would be 1, 2, 2, and 3? 1, 2, 2, and 3. You cannot have 3, 3, 1, 1 because you are supposed to have 2 identical numbers and 2 distinct numbers. If you have 2, 2, if you have 1, 1, Can I have, let's say 1, 1, 2, and 4? Would this work? Of course not, because you cannot break it down into two pairs of numbers that add up to 4. These two numbers have to add up to 4. So the way two numbers add up to 4 can only be this way, either 1, 3 or 2, 2 or 3, 1. And you need two identical numbers and two distinct numbers. The only way that grouping can be made if it is 2, 2, 3, 1. So the number of people hired in B, their distribution or their split is going to be 1, 2, 2, 3. This is known. Next, the number of students recruited by company C was 10. Okay, number of people recruited by company C was 10. Now 10 is a wonderful number. Sum of the first four natural numbers is 10. So the four distinct numbers hired by C in the different domains are 1, 2, 3, 4. This is guaranteed. Which is also the number of students recruited from operations by all these companies together. This is also 10, and we know all the numbers in operations are also distinct. So they will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is also done. Last instruction. The number of students recruited by company D was 7, which was also the number of students recruited from marketing by all these 7 companies taken together. Now this 7 is interesting. Look at what is the minimum number of people that can be hired into D. We need two identical and two distinct. Minimum number of people hired will be 1, 1, 2, and 3. This is the smallest possible number of people that can be hired in today, which adds up to 7. This 7 is interesting because 1, 1, 2, 3. This is the only possible case by which AABB can turn into a sum of 7. So, number of people hired in D will be across the 4 domains will be 1, 1, 2, and 3. And now we have counts of people that will get hired in A across 4 domains, counts of people who will get hired in B across 4 domains, counts of people who will get hired in C across 4 domains, and counts of people who will get hired in D across 4 domains. We also have counts of people who will get hired in operations across companies, but we have nothing more. But it is fun. This question is about, according to the information given in the question, you have to generate future cases. So let's start. First question. It is known that the number of students recruited by company C and company D for operations were 4 and 2. Company C and company D for operations was 4 and 2. Also, company A recruited 4 students for marketing. 4 students for marketing. Okay. Find the number of students recruited for HR by company A and D together. A and D together. We need some of these two numbers. Okay. Based on the information we have so far, I know operations is supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 and 4 are already allocated. Can A be the one supplying 3 workers? No, because 3 is not even available with A as a number. So 3 will definitely come from here. 1 will definitely come from here. This is guaranteed. Okay. Now, what else can I do? 4 is done, 1 is done. Operations entirely is done. How do I break it? 3 is done. 2 and 2 for marketing, look at marketing. 4 is already used up and 3 empty spots. Total has to add up to 7. So it can only work with 1, 1, 1. This is also known. Marketing is also completely filled up for the time being. Okay. So now, what else can I fill up? Look at B. 1 and 3 are filled up. So 2 and 2 are filled up. For B, 2 and 2 are filled up. Okay. Now for C, it is supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4. It is supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4. If it has 2 here, the number of people here will be 3. If C has 2 people hired in finance, it will have 3 people hired in HR, which would mean the number of people getting hired in HR from A and D together will be 3 in that case. Let me write it with a separate pen. Yeah, why this is fine. This is fine. Number of people, if number of people hired in finance from C were 2, number of people hired in HR from C will be 3, and then number of people hired from A and D in HR will be 3. But if the number of people hired in finance from C was 3, then the number of people hired in HR from C will be 2. And then number of people hired in A and D together in HR would be 4. I can reach 2 multiple answers. Let me try and complete both these cases and see if it works out. I have 4 identified. So let's say if it was 2, this will be 1. Or let me not write it that fully. This 2 and this 1 works. I have 1, 1. So this will be 3. And this will be 1. Yes, this is possible. So with the oblique signs, can I see if the entirety can be done? 3, 2. I need 4 now. Can it be done? Can it be done? I need, what am I doing? 2, 3, 3, 2. I need 4 now. 4 can come from 2 and 2, can come from 3 and 1. I'll do 2 and 2. Let's see, 2. No, I can't have 2 and 2. I need a 3. 1 and 3 wouldn't work. So I need a 3 here. I need a 1 here. This is guaranteed. 3 is guaranteed, 1 is guaranteed. If 1 is guaranteed, 2 comes here. And if 3 comes here, 1 comes here. Now, is the blue case also acceptable? Yes, the blue case is also acceptable. The red case is also acceptable. Both of them are acceptable. So we cannot reach a unique answer with regards to number of students recruited for HR by company A and D together. So answer has to be cannot be determined. Okay. Now for such questions wherein you don't really have a precise case, if you've generated a case, I have limited space available, I'm doing it on screen. If you have limited space available, or if you're doing it in a notebook, what I would say is keep this case. Don't erase or don't cancel it out. Keep this case. Move on to the next question. See if the conditions given in the next question bring us back to this only. If it brings us back to this only, then we wouldn't have to generate everything all over again. If it doesn't, then we have to anyway generate. But don't erase before you look at the next set of questions. Okay. It is known that company A selected 4 students for marketing, which is also the same number of students selected by company C for operations. See, the red case, or this is still valid. It is known that company A selected 4 students for marketing, which is also the number of students selected by company C for operations. This is valid. Also, company A selected 2 students for operations. And now everything has gone to dumps because company A has selected 2 students for operations, which is also the number of students selected by company D for human resources. Okay, so lots of things have changed. So we have to pretty much get rid of everything that is written here. The only numbers that survive are the 4s. That's fine. So we start again with our working. C had 4, A had 4 in marketing, C had 4 in operations. Because A had 4 in marketing, these 3 will become 1, 1, 1. This is fine. Also, A selected 2 students for operations. A had 2 students in operations. Now look at A had 1, 1, 2, 4 people hired. 2 and 4 are already used up. So this has to be 1. This has to be 1. This is done. This is also the number of students selected by company D for human resources. So D has 2 people in human resources. Okay. This is done. Now we need one, two, three, four, lots of things. Let's see. Find the number of students selected by company D for finance. Company D for finance. This number is what we are after. This is what we are selecting. Okay. I need what? Operations. I need. See, operations. I need a 1 somewhere. Can I get a 1 from B? No. There was a single 1 in B that is already used up. So 1 will necessarily come from D. And if 1 will necessarily come from D, now the column for D has 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2 have been allocated. The only number left to fill up is 3. So how many students were selected by company D for finance? The answer will be option B, 3. Okay. Next, we are told if it is known that the number of students recruited by company B from operations is 3. If you look at it, in our current case, number of students recruited by company B from operations is indeed 3. Also, if each of the 4 companies recruited an equal number of candidates for its human resources department. So this has again gone to twist. We have to, apart from B being 3 in operations, nothing else is certain. But what is informed to us is if each of the 4 companies recruited an equal number of candidates for its human resources department. 2, 2, and 2, and 2. Okay. Each of the companies recruited 2 people into its human resource department. Find the number of finance students recruited by company D. Again, we are looking for this number. Again, we are looking for this number. Okay. But this is a unacceptable case. Look at this. I'm looking at the operations line. Operations is supposed to have 2 somewhere. Operations is supposed to have 2 somewhere. Can it have 2 with A? No. A had only a singular 2 and it has been used up here. A only had a single 2 and it has been used up with HR. Can it have 2 with B? No. We are told B had 3 people in operations. Can C have 2 used up here? No. C only has a single 2 and it has been used up with HR. D only has a single 2 and it has been used up with HR. Which is to say, this 2 of operations has no spot to go. It cannot come with company, it cannot come with company C, it cannot come with company D, which means no acceptable case can be created, which means the answer to this question has to be option D. This situation is not possible. This situation is not possible. Okay. Next question. Next question. The number of students from operations selected by company A, B, C, D are 1, 2, 4, and 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 4, and 3. Okay. The number of students from marketing, finance, and human resources recruited by company C are 1, 2, and 3. Marketing, finance, and human resources are 1, 2, and 3. Okay. If company A selected X students from marketing, if company A selected X students from marketing, how many unique values for X exist? Okay. For A, I know the potential values can be 1 or 2 or 4. These are the only 3 possible values. So here we have to run possible case checking. We have to run possible case checking and see if we can make, even if we can make one acceptable case, that will be valid. Okay, let's start by plugging in 4. If I plug in 4 here, makes my life easy. This becomes 1, this becomes 1. Or wait, even before I plug it in, this is confirmed info. So I'll plug it in this way. 4, 1, and 1. This becomes fine. Now C is entirely done, ops is entirely done. I need 5 in HR. I need 5 in HR. So I can have it this way: 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3 is done. So 1 comes here, 2 comes here, 3 comes here. Yes, every column, every row is getting satisfied. No number has been used extra. So 4 is possible. 4 is possible to be plugged into marketing and finance grouping. Let us now get rid of this and check if 2 is possible. If I plug in 2 here, 4 has to go somewhere. 4 cannot come in HR because then 4 and 3, 7 would get used up. One of these two would become 0. So 4 has to come here. If 4 comes here, then this would be 1, this would be 1, adds up to a total of 8. That is fine. If 1 is used up, 2 is used up. 2 or 3 both can come here. Don't really. Oh. If 2 comes here, then 2 has to come here. If 3 comes here, 1 has to come here. Both of them are possible, no problem. Acha, this one is fixed, no? HR will necessarily be 1 now. So I need 4. From 2 values here, I need 4. If I put plug in 3 here, I get 1. 1, 1, 3 is used up. So this has 2 left. This has 2 left. Is this an acceptable case? Yes, everything is fine. All the numbers, all the columns, all the rows are indeed getting satisfied. So marketing in A having the intersection of 2 is also possible. This is fine. And the final step has to be to plug in 1 there and check if a case can be created. Okay. I'm plugging in 1. Now, finance and HR. I can't put 4 here because 4 and 3 will add up to 7. Then that would mean B or D has sent 0 people to HR. That cannot happen. So 4 will necessarily go here and 2 will necessarily go here. If 4 and 2 have come here and total adds up to 8, so this has to be 1, this has to be 1. Okay. 1 and 3 have been used up. 2 and 1 are left. So if I put up 1 here, then I can't reach a total of 7. So I have to put up 2 here, which would mean this is a 3. 3, 1, 2. So 2 and 1. And yes, an acceptable case with 1 at overlap of marketing and A can also be created. So 1 is also a possible value of X. So how many unique values of X exist? 3 unique values of X exist. And that is the entirety of this set. Hopefully you learned something.